Patriot Prepper here. Hope everyone's doing well. Well, I guess we're 2 weeks into the coronavirus pandemic now. I've been social distancing at home, live out in the country, so I don't really have to worry about close proximity neighbors. And if I go out, I go out early in the morning to avoid crowds. And I've only went out once, and I like keeping my truck full of gas, and I found a couple of gas containers I want to fill up along with everything else I got. But the reason for this video is a voice from the past. All you remember Y2K, that's really where I got my start at, figuring, I needed to prep. And bought stuff. People laughed at me, and I said, well, I got babies to worry about it. I need to have food there in case something goes wrong. Stocked up on seeds, and I didn't know what I was doing, but did a halfway decent job considering I had rabbits and chickens and stuff, so I could have held out for quite some time. Well, an individual worked for me, and he prepped. He probably bought $5,000 in ammunition. And I told him, I said, really, you're spending your money the wrong way. I said, you're going to need some ammunition. I said, but if you need that much, it's a major war. I said, secondly, that's explosion waiting to happen. And I said, and he was staying in a trailer in a bad area. And I told him, I said, you just got too much stuff going against you, for you to be there trying to hold out. I said, your trailer's not going to sustain bullets, and they're going to hit those bullets that you've got and blow up on you. And this individual worked for me, and we had a disagreement on a non-compete agreement he had to sign with me. And anyway, that was early 2000, and I hadn't heard from him quite some time, and got a call 2 days ago from unknown number. Well, it wasn't that it was unknown, it's just I didn't recognize the number. And so I researched the number, it went back to him. Well, not that my phone number would be that hard to find if you know who I am and certain things about me. You could find me relatively easily. And so I was wondering the reason for his call, but I decided to do a little quick research. And he stays maybe an hour and a half from me. So anyway, I was able to pull up tax map. He had moved out to his in-laws' place, and evidently they cut him and his wife out a little piece of land for them to put that mobile home on. And they were living out there. His kids are grown. And I wrote down some notes on what all he was doing. Well, I called him back, and we exchanged pleasantries, and I asked him, I told him, I said, well, it was kind of surprised hearing from you. He said, well, with everything going on, he said, I was wondering how you're doing. And I said, I'm doing all right. And he said, were you prepared? Well, as prepared as I wanted to be? No. Are we ever really that prepared? But I told him, I said, I'd been real sick, and I had to use the majority of my supplies, and I was kind of in bad shape on things. And he said he was just wondering. He said we'd had an agreement, about him coming to my place or me going to his if it got bad and all. And I said, I don't really have anything. He said, well, how are you on ammunition? I said, I've got enough. I said, I can pop a few before they get me. Well, to kind of go into this story a little bit deeper, he was involved with the crew of guys, and I spoke with them too, that were survivalists. Well, their thing was they wanted me to be a part of their group and I'd give them a detailed list of my inventory and monies on hand and everything else. Well, I didn't trust these guys like that, and that was during Y2K. Prior to that, and finally I told him, I said, "Look, man," I said, I was just kind of looking at this thing. Well, I'll still get my stuff together." So I cut those two guys out of the mix, and but then this guy, I don't know if he's back with these guys and they're looking for easy targets or what, but I brought up, how a nice place he had, and he was confused. So, "How do you know my place?" I said, "Oh man," I said, "I've kept up with you over the years. I know you're out there in the country now, and the boys are grown." I kind of got him unhinged a little bit, and I said something. He had a dog in one of his Facebook posts, and that's why I don't Facebook. And I told him I liked his dog. Well, I think any ideas he had about possibly putting my name in on a list of possible sources of inventory may have came off, because I put it out there not so many terms. I knew where he lived, and I could do stuff too. But you need to be careful, people. That's why a lot of people really didn't know the extent of my prepping. I was getting deals on food, and there's still stuff I'd like to have. I'd love to have some cupcakes now, and I'm not a baker, so I'll wait till the world straightens out again to get those cupcakes. Stay alert and prepared, my fellow patriots. Patriot Prepper out.